So it was mid-January 2026 and I decided I'm going to do it. I'm going to book a flight to Australia, and so I bought my visa and I booked a flight without really consulting anyone, not speaking to my family, my mum, anyone. It was one of the weirdest and honestly the boldest moves I've ever made in my entire life, and I'm still not entirely sure why I did it. I just felt called to come here and I followed that voice and I came. I decided to book my flight to Brisbane. I decided that's where I'd be starting my journey, and I'm really happy that I did. I feel like Brisbane's a great city. It's given me lots of freedom to learn about myself in an environment that's not too overwhelming. It's still busy, it's got that city life, but it's very different. It's a lot tamer, I would say, than Melbourne or Sydney. Honestly, this city has been great to me so far and I can't wait to move on, but also I'm really enjoying my time here. I'm currently working and saving. After about 3 weeks of crazy antics where I was going to Moreton Island and boat parties and koala sanctuaries and playing with kangaroos, I decided, right, I need to get a job. Because not everyone can financially support themselves coming to Australia with no job. I personally came with around £3,000 and that was not enough to cover all of my living expenses for longer than maybe 2 months, and so I needed to find a job. And so I used what I knew best, hospitality, and I got a job in a cafe as a barista, and I have the greatest team. I work with one of my best friends who I met while I was here, and we have so much fun. Her name is Ferris, and we work around 4 days a week and it's honestly brilliant. Sometimes the cafe goes into quieter periods, and so I have started looking for a second job. I would advise against this if you can. Try and maybe look for full-time work. If you're going to stay in cities for longer times, try and find a job that's actually a full-time job, not casual work. I wish I'd done that when I arrived, and honestly, I might look into full-time work once I move to Melbourne. I do think though, when I move to Melbourne, I am going to start looking to use my skills that I know best. What I did back home, I worked as a photographer and an actor. I'm going to look out for extras work and freelance photography work and hope that I can find a career in something that feels a lot more like me. Because obviously, while it's fun to make coffees and meet new people and get that experience, I think it's really important to try and remember what you do back home, what your hobbies are, what you love doing, and keep doing it while you're traveling. I thought that moving to Australia would fix me, and it didn't. When I moved to Australia, I thought everything about me was going to change and that I'd leave a completely different person, but now I've been here for nearly 3 months, and honestly, I'm the same person that came here 3 months ago. I've just learned so much more about myself, and I've learned to embrace the person that came here instead of hiding him away. I remember when I arrived on my first day, the first thing that I did, incredibly jet lagged and tired, was take myself on a walk into the city to try and find a coffee. And I couldn't do it. I didn't know where the city was. I couldn't find any coffee shops. I was tired, stressed and overwhelmed, and I just remember thinking, I don't know if I can do this. And I remember saying, there's so much of myself that I want to work on. Day 1, Brisbane. I'm finding it really hard today. There's obviously the added bit of I have just travelled for 2 days straight. I haven't really slept for 2 days straight. I arrived at my hostel and I got there and I was like, right, okay, I want to have a coffee to just keep me awake a little bit. So I was like, right, okay, that can't be hard. And I left my hostel and I got into Brisbane and I was just so like overwhelmed. Because then I realised I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm finding it really difficult to record even this, which is weird because I'm usually very confident. I don't really care about other people being around me, but I'm finding it really difficult to record or even really use my voice. I've been feeling really self-conscious these last couple of weeks, and I think now that I'm here, it's all getting really heightened because nobody knows me and nobody really cares. Like, I got here and I arrived and I was on such a high, I was so excited. And it sounds really stupid, and obviously you don't actually expect a fanfare, but because you're so excited, when I arrived at my hostel and everyone was just kind of doing their own thing and nobody even really looked at me, I just realised how alone I felt. Like I've been feeling really alone for quite a long time, I think. And I don't know why I thought leaving the country and escaping to a whole different continent on the other side of the world would help that. I just thought maybe I'd find some sort of purpose here. And it's obviously too early to know if that's true, but I'm just really scared that that's not the case. And I realised that I have not made a plan at all. I have no plan. I don't know what I'm going to do for the next 7 days, and then I don't know what I'm going to do the next 7 days after that. Stop feeling so shameful about it, but I just carry so much shame with me, and there's so much of myself that I want to work on. And while I understand where that version of me 3 months ago is coming from, what I've learned now is that you don't need to work on yourself and change. You can learn more about who you are as a person, and being on my own, solo traveling, has given me the freedom to do that. Without any shame, without any judgment, just looking myself in the mirror and saying, who do you want to be? I'm so proud of how far I've come and the person that I've become in the last 3 months, so I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about what I've been doing in Australia for my first couple months as a solo traveller who's 18 years old, moving to Australia from the UK. I was really scared of who I was going to be surrounding myself with when I moved to Australia. I was worried that I wouldn't make any friends. If I did make friends, that they wouldn't be the right ones for me. One of the hardest things, one of the hardest pills that you have to swallow when you're in Australia and when you're travelling anywhere is that people come and go. Not everybody is going to be around forever, but that is okay. It's a really good lesson for life, and it's a really good tool that I've been able to add to my own personal kit, is that you can let people come into your life and then let them go freely without being incredibly heartbroken and torn and feeling like a lesser version of yourself. You just have to let these people come in and trust that what they're supposed to do for you, they will do for you. And then you'll meet each other and you'll leave, and all in that same time you'll have learned about each other and learned about yourselves and grown and fed off information and learned about each other's cultures, and it's a really beautiful exchange that you can make with people. And sometimes it's okay that those friendships aren't going to last forever, because the connections that you made were real, and that's what's most important in my opinion. If you do meet friends who are from near your hometown, then that's amazing. I've personally met a friend called Emily who's an absolute legend, and she lives really close to me in England, and so it's really comforting to know that when I come home I'll have a little piece of Australia there with me as well. But don't take any of those friendships for granted is what I would say. Hold on to them tight while they're there and let them go freely, because at the end of the day, no matter what friendships you make, you all came here on a solo journey, and it's always going to be that. You're always going to fly home, probably on your own. Oh my god, I think a ferret just pissed out of a tree into the soil. Oh my god, they're pissing on me! Oh my god.